this is going to be my last bit of product today. Indeed, I'm being driven crazy by the voice to skull again. Indeed, they're trying to convince me of all sorts of things that I'm not, and various things. I can hear people talking about me, which is very interesting indeed. Sorry, the cemetery network operating for Devizes, please, are still taking off certain aspects of my internet. So my internet is basically being whittled down to nothing. So it's all very interesting. I can no longer use various video hosting platforms or instant messaging or peer-to-peer file sharing platforms or much really. Indeed, even book archives have been blocked off from me by the cemetery network, who have their own network of crypto hackers connected, interestingly, to GRU's Legion network. So it's all very interesting how all of these networks interconnect. Indeed, the GRU's Legion network have a vested interest in seeing me destroyed, because I exposed the fact that Legion is a GRU operation. Indeed, this links to an MI5 front network, i.e. anonymous, the network of crypto hackers who aren't actually real. They are an MI5 GRU synthesis network. So it's all very interesting. Indeed, their whole agenda is to basically point all the blame on the Jews, basically, for the global conspiracy, which is a continuing scapegoating process utilized by the Aryan Templars. It has been utilized for 2,000 years. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Walter Rose and Sons Butcher Shop have issued a mandate for my death, attempting to hire a network of Palestinians connected to the Devizes ring to slaughter me on the streets of Warminster. So what am I to think of this? Indeed, I have always conceived of the prospect that at some point in the future, some jihadists may chop my head off in the street. But these days, I'm not too convinced of that theory. Indeed, I believe it's more likely that Satanists will chop me up, chew me up, rape my organs, fuck my dead body, and all sorts of things. Indeed, this is Vermin's fantasy. Apparently, he wants to fuck my bones, which is seriously very strange. Indeed, Satanism is not a mental illness in the way that schizophrenia is. Indeed, schizophrenia is a mental illness by definition, but is actually the shattering of the present reality and the witnessing of other realms through cosmic consciousness. So it's all very interesting. Although it is quite debilitating, as us higher evolved beings cannot adapt to the modern world. However, Satanism is not worth medicating someone or treating them like they are a vulnerable person. Satanists are just vile people. So it's very interesting to consider. Cass Lynch has spent the last 12 years feigning mental illness to basically live off state benefits. So it's all very interesting. He is not likely to continue to pretend to be mentally ill anymore, as he now hates mentally ill people, because it was a mentally ill person who exposed the fact his name is Warren Grimes. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Warren Grimes is a carefully concealed state secret. Indeed, he raped 400 toddlers in a small town just outside of Rochdale about just over 10 years ago. and basically was smuggled by the British police. Indeed, I even believe it was the British security services that had to smuggle him to Caen, where he was protected by networks of Caen police from any possible exposure. It's interesting that the police moved, the security services even moved Warren Grimes, aka Cassius Lynch, to Caen because they knew he'd fit in there in that child raping shithole. So it's all very interesting to consider the child rape networks in Caen would have happily welcomed Cassius Lynch, also known as Warren Grimes. Indeed, Caen is a child rapist town, just as is Devizes. Indeed, I'm not entirely sure where to go with this video, and this is merely a journal entry. However, I'd like to examine an aspect of Sabbateans and how they influence the current thinking in Britain. Indeed, most of the sexual practices of the neo-Nazi satanic continuums are Sabbatean, based on heresy within Judaism that basically esteems Sabbatai Zevi as the Messiah, and he has a continual descendant messiahs, basically there are always Sabbatean messiahs. And at the moment, the Sabbatean messiah is Warren Grimes, aka Cassius Lynch, Cass Lynch of Caen. He is the current Sabbatean messiah, which is all very interesting to consider that VERMIN, aka Cassius Lynch, aka Warren Grimes, i.e. one of the most despicable people in England, is the current messiah of the Sabbateans. That's all very strange. Indeed, I'm going to have to do some further analysis into the fact that VERMIN is the current Sabbatean messiah. Indeed, the Azov Battalion were tipped off to this notion a few years ago. Cass Lynch is actually the Sabbatean messiah. They now hate him because they believe he's an Israeli, which is all very interesting to consider, considering Cass Lynch, aka VERMIN, is trying to make me out to be working for the Israelis. Indeed, it's all very interesting. Indeed, I just described before that Israeli society is factional. There are many real Hebrews in Israel, but there are also Khazars, who are Gogis, and Arabs, of course, and various other ethnic groups. Indeed, no nation is ethnically pure. So it's all very interesting. Indeed, as I stated, VERMIN is the current messiah of the Sabbatean networks. Indeed, it was a GRU operative who told me that VERMIN, aka Cassius Lynch, is the Sabbatean messiah. So it's all very interesting to consider this fact. Indeed, it's all a very strange revelation to me that Cass Lynch is the current messiah of the Sabbateans. And to be the messiah of the Sabbateans, you've got to be basically the most evil human being on the planet. So it's all very interesting to consider this guy in Caen who's pretending to be a mental patient who's never actually set foot inside a psychiatric ward is actually the Sabbatean messiah. The Sabbateans would never exalt a mental patient with cosmic intelligence to that esteemed position within their networks. So it's all very interesting to consider that VERMIN, aka Cassius Lynch, aka Warren Grimes, aka PC Joseph Lynch of Devizes, please, via networks of Caen, please, is actually the Sabbatean messiah. I'm not entirely sure what to think of that. That's a very, very, very interesting concept. So this guy who has basically been trying to belittle me and persecute me for over 10 years is actually the Sabbatean Messiah, i.e., Antichrist. So, and he wants to have sex with my bones. That is a seriously disturbing concept. I'm not entirely sure what to think of this at all. Indeed, he's operative for the Lighthouse Network, who, as I've stated, are directly interconnected to the British Royals. This is very interesting indeed. He has royal and crown protection for his activities. Indeed, the Azov Battalion were wondering if he was a crown operative, and it does seem that Vermin is some sort of crown operative, and at the least is crown protected. So it's all very interesting. He is the Sabbatean Messiah, the Messiah of Donmer, Frankists, Bektashis, and Ismaili assassins, apparently. So it's all very interesting, the interconnectivity of these networks and how everything is leading down to an ongoing cosmic conflict between a real mental patient, i.e. me, and a phony one, i.e. Vermin, aka Cassius Lynch. So it's all very interesting to consider. This man is terrible and operates for a really horrendous network of people, i.e. 764. He gets young girls to burn his name onto their bodies and things like that. Girls as young as 7 have been forced by Vermin to brand their names, to brand his name onto their bodies, which is really quite disturbing. Indeed, this is part of the ritualism that gets you higher within the 764 network. Though technically, as the Sabbatean Messiah, Cass Lynch is actually the head of 764. As 764 is a Sabbatean coordinated crown ring. So it's all very, very strange. Gee, I'm not entirely sure what to make of all of this. The fact that Cass Lynch is a hereditary peer, an operative of the crown. He is a peer. He is a lord within the British aristocratic system. So, and he is also the Sabbatean Messiah. No, this is all very, very confusing. I'm not entirely sure what to make of any of this. Indeed, I'm going to give up this operation for the rest of the day because I just want to chill out because my head is beginning to get a bit fried. So I'm not going to create any more content today. But this is insanity. And I thought I was crazy, but these concepts that I'm discovering are basically crazier than anything that I could have conceived. Indeed, Cass Lynch is the Sabbatean Messiah. That's really, really strange. I had a feeling about this 6 years ago that he was some sort of seriously, heavily protected, mass, serial, ritual toddler rapist. And indeed, my point has been proved. He is the Sabbatean Messiah, which means he is at the highest level of Masonic initiation, which means that he has potentially killed thousands of babies. That's all very interesting to consider, considering the nature of some of his Facebook posts, the fact that this guy has raped hundreds of toddlers and killed thousands of babies is really quite interesting indeed. He's an intelligence operative, but he's a shit one. That's the thing, he had to be recruited into MI5 for his own protection. However, they've never actually used him for a proper operation because he's useless. Indeed, the Cemetery Network told the GIU that Cass Lynch is a moron who simply fetishizes about being me. So it's all very interesting. I had that feeling before that he literally just wanted to be me. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, this Satanist is trying to mimic a holy man and getting it seriously wrong. Indeed, I'm a cosmic alien. I'm a parapsychotic, paranoid, schizophrenic, crazy man, operative for the Cosmic Intelligence Services. And my idea is to lure Cass Lynch into a trap whereby he starts making conspiracy theory videos by putting himself in opposition to me. And then we'll see who is the real one here. This is the thing. How have I ended up talking about vermin for so long in one video? Indeed, I believe vermin needs to be seriously examined. So any of the intelligence operatives watching this video, I seriously suggest you look further into Warren Grime, aka Vermin, aka Cassius Lynch, aka PC Joseph Lynch of Devizes, please. It's all a very strange situation indeed. Various friends of mine from Calm were rather confused by this guy's family setup, as if it was all a false construct, and that his supposed parents in Calm weren't actually his parents at all. It's all very interesting to consider. You can even tell by his facial features that he has cannibal tendencies and necrophile tendencies. Indeed, his history on the dark web is apparently all baby necrophilia, which is really, really quite disturbing indeed. I'm going to leave it there now because I kind of wandered into a full-scale expose of vermin. I didn't foresee the video going in this direction. But vermin is a crown-protected operative of the royal family, which is very interesting indeed. Is Cass Lynch a member of the royal family? Yes, he is. It's very interesting. Vermin is British royalty, which explains everything. I guess he probably knew I'd worked that out. So my life is probably at risk in the next few hours. However, I believe I may be okay. Indeed, he's monitoring my YouTube channel for the British Royals. So it's very interesting to consider. Indeed, Cass Lynch is technically an operative of MI6 at the moment. However, they don't rate him. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there before I continue this ongoing exposure of Vermin. Who is Vermin? Sorry, we'll see if we can make this to 20 minutes at least. I'm just going to chill out for a second and talk. It's always good to talk. Indeed, my medication's being increased tonight. Indeed, I'm not doing this so that the state can control me. I'm just doing this because I need a little bit of calm. That's the thing. actually asked for my medication to be increased a little bit. Indeed, I'm living life through chemicals and circuitry. So, so very interesting. I just want to see what things will be like. I believe my frequencies may be able to engage even better with a little bit more medication because it's very difficult to function on the lesser doses. Indeed, although I disagree with forced pharmaceutical drugging, I'm actually beginning to think that considering all these pharmaceuticals are made, we have the right to consume them. And indeed, pharmaceutical compounds via synthetic chemistry often give me very good contact with cosmic consciousness. So, as an enlightened higher being, I believe this may help my operations. Indeed, I'm part of the 20 to 30% of mental patients on psychiatric wards designated by the legend Itzhak Bentov as being of a higher evolutionary stage. And this is why I can't function in normal society. However, with the aid of these chemicals that I'm using for my own benefits, not so the state can control me, I may be able to operate very well. So right now I have use as an intelligence operative for several agencies that I'm not fully aware of their identities. Though it's all very interesting indeed. Vermin knows people watch my videos from various agencies and he's terrified. He's thinking of running to Serbia apparently, which is very interesting considering there are networks there of cannibals, but they're few and far between. Serbia doesn't have the same level of satanic cult activity as the United Kingdom. So it's all very interesting. Indeed, Cassius constantly puts out disinformation. I was never in Serbia. I'm pretty sure I was. Lots of people there remember me. So it's all very interesting. I'm pretty sure I was there, despite my amnesia problems. I'm pretty sure I was there. It's all very interesting how people are trying to deny that I am real these days. Indeed, people in Calm think that I'm dead, and this is actually a simulacra talking on the channel. It's all very interesting indeed. I'm going to leave it there now because the this is all just becoming a little bit too amusing. Indeed, Vermin is the Sabbatean Messiah. Sorry, but I find that very, very, very entertaining that all these Sabbateans see Vermin as their Messiah. I'm gonna leave it there now. Very funny indeed.